rules. That's what you said, Obama. What happens when the other side has repeatedly and abundantly made clear they are not interested in playing by the rules? It's a problem. And when that happens, we fight.
Welcome to Inside the Daily Gist. How are you guys doing today, December 9th, 2024? Yes, my friends, on this channel, we talk about things going around in the world, things going on the news or on the internet. We bring it down here, we talk about it. If it's something you are interested in, please do not forget to subscribe at the end of this video. Yes, my friends, let's jump right into it. That was former President Barack Obama. He said what you heard him say, which is fight. Y'all know the election is over. 2024 presidential election year, it's done with. And a lot of Democrats, they are looking for who to turn to after the defeat. You know what I mean? And y'all know former President Barack Obama as being like a leader that they seek advice, that they get advice from. And on this day, they were launching Obama Foundation, I think the third year or something like that. And he got, what y'all heard him say? Yes, he said that and he said a lot. Let's go take a listen to how he is addressing the situation. You know what I mean? And we are going to chit chat on the other side. Let's take a listen, guys.
That if we want democracy as we understand it to survive, then we're all going to have to work towards a renewed commitment to pluralist principles. Because the alternative is what we've seen here in the United States and in many democracies around the globe. Not just more gridlock, not just public cynicism, but an increasing willingness on the part of politicians and their followers to violate democratic norms, to do anything they can to get their way, to use the power of the state to target critics and journalists and political rivals, and to even resort to violence in order to gain and hold on to power. We have seen that movie a lot. So how do we choose the better path? I'm not going to pretend that there are easy answers. Some of the trends I described played out over decades. Reversing them is going to take time as well. But as you've heard from many of our panelists today, we are seeing successful efforts around this country and around the world to reinvigorate pluralist values. And rather than just repeat what you've already heard from some of our panelists, I'm just going to try to quickly summarize a few quick principles for us to consider in our work. Point number one. Building bridges is not contrary to equality and social justice. In fact, it is our best tool for delivering lasting change. Today, there is a perception among some advocates that being adversarial is the main way to make change. Compromise and civility only serve to entrench existing power structures. And partly this reflects legitimate frustration over the seeming inability of the existing political process to get anything done. And they are certainly right that those in power have often cloaked their resistance to meaningful change by appealing to civil dialogue and lengthy deliberation and let's form a committee. In his letter from Birmingham jail, Dr. King scolded those who counseled patience and seemed more worried about social disruption than rank injustice, saying that there comes a time Dr. King said, when the cup of endurance runs over and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. But Dr. King, like Gandhi, like Nelson Mandela, also understood if you want to create lasting change, you have to find ways to practice addition rather than subtraction. So let me make this key point. Pluralism is not about holding hands and singing Kumbaya. It is not about abandoning your convictions and folding when things get tough. It is about recognizing that in a democracy, power comes from forging alliances and building coalitions and making room in those coalitions, not only for the woke, but also for the waking. Now, there are risks involved in engaging with groups you disagree with, particularly if there's a power imbalance involved. There's a risk when you begin to negotiate compromises that you'll give away too much, that you whittle away your issues to the point where it's hard to claim that you're making progress. And building bridges may require you to deal with people who not only disagree with you, but do not respect you. When I was president, there were many times where I was negotiating with people who made it pretty clear they didn't think I should be president. Legally, morally. But as long as we're clear about our core principles, as long as we know what our North Star is, we have to be open to other people's experiences and believe that by listening to these people and building relationships and understanding what their fears are, we might actually bring some of them, not all of them, but some of them along with us. And this is not just the job of leaders. This is an important point. Advocates and rank and file in any group.
Yes, my friends, that was former President Barack Obama. Y'all know that the election that just passed, the presidential election year 2024, Democrat they were not expecting this result. You know what I mean? But as we all know, when you are in a battlefield, for sure, one gonna win and one gonna lose. Even sometimes the side that won might be, full of confidence that their side gonna win. And maybe the side that lost might has lost hope that they not gonna win the battles. But the battle is not over until it is over. You know what I mean? So I think former President Barack Obama, he realized, and the Democrat actually, they realized that yes, democracy was on the ballot. Yeah, remember democracy was their main message. Like democracy is on the ballot, democracy is on the ballot. But people did not choose democracy. And I think former President Barack Obama, is trying to now speak to Democrats how they are feeling, but like, yo, y'all lost, but y'all still not gonna fold hands. Y'all still gonna charge ahead, y'all still gonna move forward, and y'all still gonna fight. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's trying to portray to the Democrat. That even when he was president, some do not believe that he should be president morally and legally. but they find a way to sit down and talk to each other and listen. So I think he is appealing to Democrats, those in the government and those that are not in the government, like the voters, right? You know what I mean? So he is trying to speak to Democrats because a lot of Democrats right now, they just want to tune out from politics. You know what I mean? They do not want to get involved. Majority of people that do not want to get involved are the voters. You know what I mean? And those that volunteered and all of that. So democracy was not the only problem that people want fixed. People want their pocket to pull, people want to be able to put food on the table. And former President Barack Obama, he is trying to lecture, you know what I mean? He is trying to lecture the Democrats on how to move forward. He's saying, like, you're still going to speak to, or you're still going to find common ground with Republicans. That does not mean you are losing your value. You know what I mean? This is what I believe that he is trying to portray because he's the leader, he can afford hams, and he is selling the Democrats not to afford hams. Let's listen to one more clip from his speech, then we are going to wrap it up. I want to hear from you guys. What do you get out of this speech that from a president he is bringing out right now? You know what I mean? Do y'all think it's needed, or do y'all think former president should just take a bit back and let people still figure things out? But let's listen to one more clip, then we are going to wrap it up on the other side.
But too often, focusing on our differences leads to this notion of fixed victims and fixed villains. And it creates a presumption that our identities are all singular and static, that because you're a male, you automatically have certain attitudes. And let's face it, you're part of the patriarchy. I have two daughters and a wife, and sometimes I'm sitting at the dinner table. I'm like, what? What'd I do? They pick on me all the time. You know that, brother.
Y'all know Issy gotta bring the jokes along. You know what I mean? Y'all know former President Barack Obama for that. But yo, well, what do you guys think? He is trying to say, yeah, well, we are gonna be living in a country that y'all just gotta work together. You know what I mean? Sometimes the female doesn't agree with the male, and the male doesn't agree with the female, but they still gotta work together, listen to each other. You know what I mean? Because we feel things differently. What do you guys think? Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. Do y'all think it is time for the Democrat to take a chill pill and talk more, to take a chill pill about democracy and talk more about the economy? You know what I mean? Y'all know it. But let's continue the conversation. We are learning right here. Of course, democracy is important, but those that are saying democracy is important, I think former President Barack Obama is saying, yeah, that is what's important to you, but what is important to others. So we have to come together and find common ground by listening to each other. Fighting is not going to do it. Y'all could disagree in a healthy way, but y'all still gotta find a common ground. That is what I get out of these bit by bit clip. Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. As usual, please let's respect ourselves while we comment, my friends. I will chat up with you guys later. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't joined the growing community, and thank you for doing so. Bye for now.